F1 News: Sebastian Vettel wants to use Michael Schumacher against Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton won his fifth world title this year after opening up an 88-point gap over Vettel. Mercedes drove home the double after a strong showing in the second half of the season. And Vettel was quizzed on the condition of his fellow German Schumacher, but the pair have not spoken since the seven-time world title winner's skiing accident in 2013. Schumacher has not been seen in public for almost 5 years, having suffered life-changing injuries due to the incident in the French Alps. But Vettel would still like to pick the brains of the legendary Formula One driver to try and help his battle with Hamilton. "Yes, that still applies," Vettel said. "Michael has spent many years in Ranello and his spirit keeps hovering over the team. With Michael I would now speak the language of the driver and not the engineers. That's why talking with him would be extremely helpful, because with Michael I always had a great relationship anyway. Yes, I miss him." Schumacher's former rival Giancarlo Fisichella also recently expressed his desire to reach out to the German. "Michael Schumacher? I'd like to hug him and talk to him," Giancarlo Fisichella told Italian broadcaster Rai. "I would tell him what his son Mick is doing, that he's growing up, that he's winning and that, probably, he will become a champion like him." "I really hope with all my heart that he can resume a normal life. I keep myself informed about his health, but nothing is known. They do not let us know anything about him. I'm very sorry. As a colleague he was an incredible opponent, he wrote the history of Formula One. The few times I got the better of him I was really proud, and having raced together he gave me so much." Next news: Vettel confirms never visiting Schumacher. Sebastian Vettel has confirmed that he has never visited Michael Schumacher in the years since the Formula One legend suffered traumatic brain injuries in a skiing accident. Vettel idolized and later befriended the seven-time world champion after making his F1 debut. Vettel continued a tradition for German success laid down by Schumacher by winning 4 consecutive world titles with Red Bull between 2010 and 2013. He has since moved to Ferrari, where Schumacher won 5 of his 7 drivers' crowns, and Vettel has often spoke of his desire to emulate his compatriot's success in Scuderia Scarlet. Schumacher has not been seen publicly since his accident in 2013, and he has been recovering at his home in Switzerland since emerging from a coma the following year. He regularly receives visits. Former Ferrari team boss and current FIA president Jean Todt is a known frequent visitor and recently recounted watching the Brazilian GP with his old colleague. Vettel confirmed in an interview with Swiss newspaper Blick that he has not seen Schumacher since his accident, having earlier this year claimed he wished he could have sought advice from his countrymen to aid his title battle with Lewis Hamilton. When asked if he still longed to talk to Schumacher, Vettel replied, "Yes, that still applies. Michael has spent many years in Ranello and his spirit keeps hovering over the team. With Michael I would now speak the language of the driver and not the engineers. That's why talking with him would be extremely helpful, because with Michael I always had a great relationship anyway. Yes, I miss him." Vettel regularly raced with Schumacher in the Race of Champions event, winning on 6 occasions for Germany, and he will team with his friend's son, European F3 champion Mick Schumacher, at next year's event in Mexico. Next news: Vettel longs for Schumacher advice. Sebastian Vettel has confessed that he would certainly have taken up the opportunity to seek his mentor and friend, Michael Schumacher, for advice this season as he languishes 40 points behind his rival, Lewis Hamilton, in the F1 Drivers' Championship standings. Schumacher is currently on the long road to recovery from a life-threatening accident a few years ago which saw him suffer brain injuries whilst skiing. A medically induced coma helped save his life, and since then the Formula One legend has been recovering at home with his family. News regarding his health has been scarce as his family remained private about the circumstances surrounding his state, but the very latest reports suggest he is still struggling to talk or speak. Schumacher is a friend of Vettel, with the duo both hailing from Germany, and the Ferrari star had admitted he misses the opportunity to see his old mentor for advice. "If he was healthy, I would ask him about many things," Vettel told Sport Bild. "Not necessarily how to drive, but more things that are behind the scenes. Teamwork, Formula One politics." He has a lot of experience from his time with Ferrari. Mika Häkkinen, in his column for Unibet, writes that Vettel would have benefited from Schumacher's guidance, particularly in this season when he has suffered from many mistakes and strange decisions. "I have seen that Sebastian has said he wishes he had Michael Schumacher available to ask for advice, and I can understand why," the Finn wrote. Working very closely with the management and senior technical staff, Michael knew how to help get the most out of the Ferrari team. And it looks like Vettel has lost some faith in the team to provide him with the necessary support. Next news: Schumacher and Vettel to team up at 2019 Rock. Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel will be teammates at the 2019 Race of Champions in a tasty-looking Team Germany. The 2018 European Formula 3 winner will partner the four-time World Drivers' Champion in Mexico City, at the venue for the Mexican GP. Vettel has previously partnered Mick's father, F1 legend Michael Schumacher, in the annual event, which brings together stars from F1, WRC, IndyCar and more in a knockout racing tournament. Mick Schumacher will be making his Rock debut in January, but he has the perfect partner alongside him. Vettel and Michael Schumacher won 6 consecutive Rock Nations Cup titles between 2007 and 2012. Michael suffered a skiing accident the following year, and has never been seen publicly since, but he is honored every year at the Rock with a banner, while awareness and funds are raised in aid of the ICM Brain and Spine Institute. Schumacher Jr. commented said, "I am overwhelmed that I've been invited to participate in the Race of Champions as the champion of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. And I'm even more overwhelmed that I'm going to form Team Germany with Sebastian Vettel. It's going to be tough because Sebastian is a big player in the Race of Champions and of course I want to be a worthy teammate for him. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to the Race of Champions weekend, especially as it will be held in Mexico where this year's F1 World Championship was decided and everyone has seen how much Mexican fans can party in the spectacular for us all. Now the Rock weekend will be just as spectacular for me. Such a debut at such an event is simply sensational."